media side. Even though we, sometimes the episodes they get up late. Follow us up on YouTube, man. We're trying our best to keep things as consistent as possible. But I think in the time of the Holy Spirit, it's always perfect, right? So follow us on YouTube, the Mission Podcast. Also, the Mission Podcast Mariana's on Facebook, the Mission Podcast on Instagram. And whenever, wherever you see us, man, give us a holler. We appreciate any kind of support or any prayers that you have for us. And with that said, man, God bless everybody, and may the Holy Spirit always be with you, and may God bless you. Peace.
KGUM FM, Dedito, powered by Glimpses Media.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. In Maine, Democratic candidate Graham Plattner,
we are suspending campaign operations.
Withdrawing from the state's U.S. Senate race amid a sexual assault allegation.
I know that some will think it's an admission of guilt, and it most certainly is not. We're not doing it because of the allegations. We're doing it because of the structures that are being taken away from us by those in power.
Maine's Democratic Party has said it will hold a convention to replace him. In the Persian Gulf, Iran again targeting Bahrain, Kuwait, and Qatar with retaliatory fire after U.S. forces launched new airstrikes on Iran. The attacks came hours after President Trump said recent Iranian strikes on ships in the Strait of Hormuz signaled the end of their ceasefire.
Frankly, I don't want to waste my time with them. Now, I'll let our wonderful negotiators keep talking if they want, but I don't see it.
The president speaking in Turkey, where he attended a NATO summit. He also met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, telling him,
"We're going to give a license to you to make patriots." That's pretty cool, right? Larry? This way you can't complain that we're not giving them enough. I say, make them yourself. We haven't informed the company of that yet, but that'll work out all right.
The decision a significant shift as the U.S. had previously resisted the move. And in Provo, Utah, Hannah Schoenbaum reports.
Charlie Kirk's widow and parents were back in court on Wednesday as investigators testified in the week-long preliminary hearing for the man accused of killing him. I was in the courtroom as an agent with the Utah State Bureau of Investigation described the night that defendant Tyler Robinson showed up with his parents at the Washington County Sheriff's Office to turn himself in. He has not entered a plea. Next in the case, we expect to hear parts of an interview with Robinson's roommate and romantic partner, Lance Twiggs, who appears to be a key figure in prosecutors' case. Prosecutors say they also plan to introduce as evidence an alleged confession note that Robinson left for Twiggs. Outside the courthouse in Provo, Utah, I'm Hannah Schoenbaum.
This is AP News. Emmy nominations.
And so it begins.
The Day in the Life Emergency Room series, The Pit, led all Emmy nominees with 25.
The spotlight! God, I am going to be born!
While Hacks got a record-setting 24 to lead all comedies in its final season. The totals gave HBO Max the top spot for both drama and comedy.
There is something about these seafaring towns.
Apple TV Plus horror comedy Widow's Bay got 19 nominations, while its drama Pluribus got 18.
How did I not realize this sooner?
Netflix's Beef was tops in the limited or anthology series categories with 16 nominations. Best drama series includes HBO Max's The Gilded Age, A Night of Seven Kingdoms, and The Pit. Apple got 3 for Slow Horses, Your Friends and Neighbors, and Pluribus. The Emmys are announced September 14th. I'm Julie Walker.
More stories at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
Who still haven't switched to GTA? Now's the time to give them a nudge, because you can get up to $150 just for sending them our way. Refer a friend who signs up for a single service like wireless or internet, and you'll score $100. And if they go for a choice bundle, that's a cool $150 in your pocket. It's simple, it's sweet, and it pays to share. Visit GTA.net to start referring today. GTA, we start with you. Terms and conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more information.
Knowledge is power. In just 60 seconds, the Evil 360 provides you a unique experience and a detailed report of your body composition for you to take action to improve your health. The Evil 360, turning information into inspiration to live a balanced lifestyle. Evil 360 is exclusively at the Take Care Wellness Center. Go to Simply Book Me or call 671-646-6956 extension 7260 for more information and to schedule an appointment with a member of the Take Care Wellness team.
Rise and shine with Roots Breakfast Buffet. Served daily from 6:30 to 9:30 a.m. at Guam Plaza Resort. Seniors enjoy 15% off for a limited time. Save your spot now. Call 671-649-7760 to reserve.
To kids, summer isn't just time off. It's time spent building confidence and curiosity. But when school meals pause, millions of kids lose access to the food they count on during the school year. As a neighbor-led network, Feeding America is deeply rooted in every community, ensuring summer meals continue nourishing growth and potential. Your support puts healthy food within reach, fueling the future for kids and their families. Give now at feedingamerica.org/summerhunger.
My name is Erica, and my son Kason is a patient at Shriners Children. My oldest called me and said Kason got burnt. The trauma doctor came in and said he needs to go to Shriners.
His injury was a big injury, and I think a testament to the care that we provide. He's fully functional. He's riding his dirt bike, doing all of the things that you would want him to do.
We're just so thankful that Kason is still here. Go online right now to loveshriners.org.
The road to Adelup is in full swing. We recently spoke with Democrat candidates Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio and Senator Tina Munia Barnes to learn more about their vision for Guam. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 26th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. This is a glimpses of Guam radio station.
2:07 in the afternoon. Welcome to the show on this Thursday, July 9th. This is Wave 105, and you got it locked on to the bright side. My name is Ryan Nicholas, and it's my duty to introduce this gentleman right here, the king of sting, the Ayatollah of rock and roller, a man we all know and love, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
We do want to thank our sponsors, Chili's Grill and Bar. Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. Micro Pack for sound tech and everything in between. Think Micro Pack. Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh. Triple J right now at Triple J Ford. Get that free $500 gas card when you drive home with a new Ford truck. Visit triplejguam.com. Get pre-approved instantly. And GTA, we start with you. Welcome to it, another bright side here on Wave 105, 671-922-1051 or 1052. We are online, thewave105.com, as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. It's July 9th. Biba Sweat Bis.
Yeah.
Right?
It's actually raining outside right now.
Yeah, but when you're inside your house.
Talk about a reprieve.
When you're in your house and all you have is the Ryobi fan and you're looking at that light, still, it's still green, but at any moment it can go out on you, right?
Man, it was so hot last night, I thought I saw the devil look at me and say, "Hey, you okay?" Oh, no, it's like, dude, what are you doing here?
It's hot here, huh? It's pretty hot, right?
But yeah, no, I mean, we're going through the motions.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends from different places where they got energized are like, okay, cool. Timoning is one of them. And then where else? Aganya Heights and I believe parts of Sinahanya, if not all of Sinahanya. So, yeah, those guys are energized.
So they're inviting you over?
No? I wouldn't invite anybody over.
Wow.
Now here's the thing, right? I know I'm going to sound insensitive about this, right? But I know that, we just got over a storm and there are, we are having some issues with water.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to the local mom and pop store, right? And I know for a fact that this guy does have water because he's like probably 2 houses down from me. Man, people, use it.
Oh my gosh.
There is such thing called deodorant, but I'm like surprised. I'm like, dude, you haven't. I mean, you smell like you haven't showered. Come on, man. You know, the water did not go out on our area. There's no reason.
Maybe he's got a whole lot to clean up and hasn't been able to.
Everybody's good in my place.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, there's no debris, no nothing and all. So I'm like, come on, man. You know, I mean, okay, maybe you can't wash your clothes, but there's a laundromat with generator just down the street from us. So, word of advice, okay, if you have water, take advantage of it, people, please.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, I know I'm taking extra showers because of how sweaty I am.
Oh, man, I think I jumped in the shower like twice last night. You know? And then, I just open up my screen door. You know, we do have a generator at home. And
nice.
I'm like, that fan is right there. Yeah. But, we do have to like take a break, and so I told my mom.
Oh, you don't want to be that rude neighbor that's got it on 24/7.
Yeah, that
and just making it super loud, and they don't have a generator, and at 1:30 in the morning you're sleeping very comfortably.
Oh yeah,
and your neighbor is listening to that.
Yeah, well,
I'll go right over there and cut the cord,
or take the generator.
I don't want to get electrocuted. Well, I'll unplug it and then I'll cut the cord.
Well, welcome to the Indy 500.
Yeah. And it's only day 3 too, and everybody's kind of got all their underwear in places they're not supposed to be.
Oh yeah, I cleaned up as much, and the aircon is on in my place, especially in my room, because I close up and I shutter the windows even prior to the typhoon. And so now the condensation is kicking in from the floor of power.
Yeah.
It's just some areas, the power is fluctuating.
58%. Well, 46% of Guam's electricity demand has been restored.
Okay.
Right? That's according to GPA as of 10 a.m. 100% of the substations, so all 30 substations
are up and running.
Energized.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's a matter of getting all of that energy, that electricity from the substation
out to the customers. Yeah.
To the customers. So let's start the show with that. Let me pull up what Joyce Sayama, the communications manager.
I love Joyce, man. Joyce, you are awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So these are the places that they're working on. Areas of focus over the next 1 to 3 days include portions of the following. And they even have the feeder number. P47, which is in Harmon, right? So from the Harmon substation to Navy booster pump across the Micronesia Mall to the Tumon Maui well and surrounding areas. P087, that's in Dedido. The Isengsong Swamp Road, Stampa Road, Chalan Palawan to Machanao area, Astumbo area, Ironwood Estates to Route 3, Astumbo Elementary School, Astumbo Middle and surrounding areas. P111 down in Tumon. Route 1 to the Australian Cable area down to San Vittorius Road to Gun Beach, Duty Free, Chichirica Street and surrounding areas. P204 in Tamuning. That's Tsalin San Antonio southbound to ITC intersection, including the Baltage Plaza, Tamuning Mayor's Office. GPO, I did not check their Instagram yet. I know that they closed due to generator issues. However, the food court was open.
Okay.
Right? Allowing, because that's what a lot of people are going out, right? I mean, you have no power. You don't really have the ability to cook. Maybe you ran out of butane gas, or you're just tired, because that's a lot of times that happens after work, long days, long hours, especially you're not really wanting to go home right away.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is go cook in the dark.
Yeah.
So you're looking for a place to go eat comfortably.
Man.
Comfortably. And I'll tell you what, the mall was closed yesterday. GPO was closed yesterday. The food court was open. We went to Village of Donkey, and you saw how warm it was in here when we left. It was just as warm at Donkey.
Ouch.
Because the generators, it takes a lot of fuel
Yeah.
to run HVAC systems, right? And so you could tell it was very warm. And shout outs again to the staff that's over there, the cashier that is also having to endure all of that with a smile on their face while we were buying some of our food.
Quick shout out to the restaurant Homai in Orda.
There you go.
I kid you not. That place, there's a convenience store. Of course, there is a hemp shop there. And then there's also a laundromat and Homai restaurant.
Yeah.
That whole parking was filled.
Yeah.
If you weren't washing your clothes, you're going to the store. If you're not going to the store, you're going to go eat.
Yeah. So I totally get why it's important even to get these commercial areas energized.
Yeah.
Because if you can't get the homes energized in a what do you call it, in a valid amount of time, right? Then you can get some of these commercial areas energized so that there are community areas, darkness, right?
It's funny because I met a family, right? So I picked up an order. Yeah, I went in, and then there's this like waiting table, at Homai, and it's where you wait to pick up your food, right? When your food is done. The aircon was awesome. Okay, the whole restaurant was packed, and there was a family that came in, right? And there was no tables left, and it was just me and this booth table.
Okay.
And the owner was like, "Hey, you could sit down here. This is just," the guy was like, "Yeah, but there's a guy there already." Like, no, he's just waiting for his food. And I was like, "Hey, come on in."
Yeah.
And I think I got adopted by that family because
there you go.
It was him, his wife,
Heck
and his grandkids, and it was just the spirit of of humanity pretty much coming together.
Sure.
On times like this, after a storm, and so
sure,
I asked him.
It could have went.
Yeah.
It could have went another way.
Yeah.
It could have been like, "Yo, if you're just sitting there, can you get up?"
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It could have went that way.
But this guy was old school. I believe his name is Rick Ogo from Zotnia. Him and his wife. And I asked him, I'm like, "Where are you from?" And he was like, "From Georgia." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, great, nice to meet you. Have a seat, and all that."
Yeah.
So they were ordering their food, and we were talking, and I was like, "So how did you fare through the typhoon?" It's like, "Oh, we did good, but there's no power still, and then the water shut off." And I'm like, "You're in Zotnia?" I go, "Hey, I heard on the radio that there is a water tank that's out near the Carabao."
The Carabao, yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, no, I heard that too." I was like, "Okay, cool." He was like, "Yeah, and it's like, your name sounds familiar." I was like, "Yeah, I was the guy that made the announcement on." And he goes, "You're the one with Mr. Pauly Suba." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, I listen to you guys all the time."
Hey, wow.
So, thank you. And, like I said, I mean, after all the pleasantries and everything, he's like, "Boy, why don't you eat with us?" I'm like, "No, I got to go, man, when my mom's waiting in the house." But thank you anyway. Be safe. And I hope your water and power comes on soon.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just nice. I mean, everybody's going through it, but they still have the decency to be kind and
For sure.
helpful to one another. So
For sure.
that's always a good thing.
Yeah, so I'm on GPO's Instagram now, and it says their food court is still open.
Okay.
They're open until 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., normal operating hours.
Mhm.
The inline retail stores will be closed until further notice. This was 5 hours ago. So, I mean, GPA has them on the list here as an area that they are working on to get power and energize this whole area, P204, right? Then there's P206, that's and P313, that's in Tamuning. Route 1 northbound, Hoffaday Lane to Don Donkey. So hopefully Donkey's not hot also because it was last night, towards Route 10A, Chalan Pasajeru. That's Airport Road and surrounding areas. P250 in Hagåtña, the Hagåtña Swamp to Route 4 toward Afami Road and surrounding areas. P250 Chalampago Ordot along Route 4 from Spring Lane to Route 10 intersection, including Darrow Road, Mai Street, and surrounding areas. P250 Sinahanya Mobile, Holiday Towers, Afami Road, Saud, and surrounding areas. P250 Mangilaw from Mangilaw on to Derry Road toward Route 10, including DOC, portions of DYA, and surrounding areas. P261 in Inalahan, that's the Malolo area, Poultry Farm, Dandan Road, Inalahan Mayor's Office, the Inalahan Pool, Inalahan Village Ladder Lane, Inedo Lane, Bear Rock. Hey, even Bear Rock needs power. Jesus Crisostomo Street, Inalahan Way, Ija Subdivision, Belen Avenue, Tagamin, Latgu, and surrounding areas.
Oh, Iha Subdivision. That's Victor Duenas.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
nice.
That's
All
where
right.
he's at. Yeah.
P261 Talafofo, that's Talafofo Village, Route 4A towards Talafofo Bay, including Wolford Heights and surrounding areas. P294 Mangilao, Route 10 westbound from Old Public Health to, I hate how they say Old Public Health. Like, come on.
Have you been to
We're
that
already
building?
calling it Old Public Health?
Yeah, it's still like, I mean, I think that building's probably the best one the public health has.
Yeah.
They have a conference room and everything. I mean, you can run pretty much disaster response down at that building.
Okay. Well, it is what it is. Old Public Health to Route 4 intersection, Ta'i, Mangilao, and surrounding areas. P294, Talan Pago Ordot, that's Route 10 through the Route 4 intersection. Talan Ping Pago, Talan Inda, Inalado Road, Ta'i Road, Pago Bay Estates to Pago Bay Resort and surrounding areas. P294, Zotnya, Route 4 from Zotnya Village towards Pago Bay, Amuluhan Elementary School, St. Francis Church, portions of Pulantat towards Tracking Station and surrounding areas. P301 in Zotnya, Pulantat, Talan Teleforu, bottom of the loop to Zotnya Cliffside to Ilig and surrounding areas. P311 in Barragata, Bello area, Machechi, Tun Pedro, Benavente Street, Route 16 to Barragata Heights, DMR, Commercial Tire and surrounding areas. They might have fixed that already because that's us. And we are on island power right now. Yeah. So the Barragata Heights area, right in front of DRT, that light was blinking this morning, and now it's fully functional.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we right now are on island power. P320 Nelson area, Route 15 northbound from Marble Cave intersection to Anderson Air Force Base back gate to include Upi Elementary, Chalan Carida, parts of Tacano Subdivision, Gadzanero East, Mount Santa Rosa, and surrounding areas. P340 in Humatag, Route 2, Humatag Village, Chalan Cantantasi, including San Dionisio Street, JS Canata Street, and surrounding areas. P340 Malesu, Route 4, Chalan Cantantasi, Malesu Village, including the Malesu Pier, Morito Elementary School, Kaneni Road, Areolas Beach, Malesu Canoe, and surrounding areas. P340 in Alahan, Route 4, Chalankantantasi, including Inedo Street, Inarahan Garden House, Tongan area, Agricultural Experimental Station Road, and surrounding areas. So all of those feeders, those areas are all being worked on. They're all being prioritized today and for the next 3 days.
All right.
So I'm jealous of all of these places.
Well, I
'cause
think
my area is not here.
Mm-hmm.
And I can almost guarantee that almost everybody that lives on these areas are GPA employees.
You're almost, yeah.
Kidding. I am kidding. I'm joking. Don't get triggered now.
Stop.
You're working very hard.
I don't know.
You are working very hard.
I'm a part of
all the GPA employees. You're working very hard.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
Yes.
However,
Yes.
I have seen it on social media, and people are really saying those things.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I'm a part of a chat group, a couple chat groups, and are like, don't don't say anything bad. If you're gonna go on the radio about GPA, and don't,
because they'll shut your power off.
Like, oh yeah, okay, all right.
They know you're smart.
All right,
they know
Mong Mong said that. Okay, Mong was on the list. It's gonna be the last on the list.
No. Don't call in with your first and last name and your feeder number and complain about GPA because you're just giving it away.
I would like, they pretty much have the power of the good Lord. Let there be light.
No, but here's the thing. No, because I do know a lineman. Actually, he's retired. But he was saying, how would you like working your butt off for 12 hours, 12-hour shifts, and go home to no power? That is the reality of the line crew.
Yeah.
They're not prioritizing
themselves.
Yeah. And so if your neighbor has power and you don't, it has nothing to do with GPA having a hit list and be like, yeah, we don't like you.
Yeah.
It's just... There are a number of other reasons.
You're
not that important.
I've heard stuff like, why is it 2 houses down from me has power and I don't? And I'm like, maybe the route where your energy is coming from is not on that area. It's coming from the other side. There's so many ways. You could think about this, right? And I'm like, it's not deliberate. They're not doing it on purpose.
It's not. We all are, sometimes it's this area, sometimes it's that area. So they're saying voltage fluctuations during restoration, right? So as power is restored, some customers may experience temporary voltage fluctuations, such as flickering lights, dimming, or partial power.
Yes.
Customers are advised to shut off their main breaker and then report that to GPA. Damaged weatherheads and other electrical components. Customers are advised to conduct their own home and property assessment, including the weatherhead, meter socket, and other electrical components. If electrical equipment such as the weatherhead or meter socket was damaged during the storm, it must be repaired before power service can be restored. And so for more information, you can contact GPA's customer service at 671-647-5787. 5787 or 5788 or 5789. And then when it comes to generator safety, that's so very important, right?
Yes.
Please ensure your main breakers are opened in the off position when operating emergency standby generators to prevent dangerous working conditions for the GPA line crews. And then, of course, the carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is colorless, odorless gas that can cause serious illness and or death. The risk increases when generators or fuel-powered equipment are used improperly. Never use generators, grills, or portable stoves indoors. Keep equipment away from doors, windows, and vents, and never run vehicles inside garages. If you feel dizzy, nauseated, or lightheaded, move to fresh air immediately. If you suspect carbon monoxide exposure, call emergency services immediately. They also want to put this out, and it's very important that you hear this. GPA understands that residents are eager to have service fully restored and thanks the community for the outpouring of support shown to crews working in villages across the island. Residents are asked to allow crews to work unimpeded, while crews understand the urgency and concerns stopping them to ask about restoration timelines, delays progress, and creates safety risks. Allowing crews to continue their work and focus on their tasks at hand while concentrating on repairs will help ensure power is restored as quickly and safely as possible. And so when they talk about customers who remain without power. And so it may be that you're on feeders that have not yet been energized. In some areas, power may be restored to main lines while additional repairs are still needed on transformers, service lines, or customer connections. Customers may also be experiencing isolated damage that requires crews to return after main circuits are restored. If surrounding areas have power, customers may be part of a smaller outage pocket. And GPA is aware of all customer outages through its advanced metering infrastructure or smart meter network and supervisory control and data acquisition systems, or SCADA. These systems allow GPA to confirm where power has been restored, identify customers still without service, and locate smaller outage pockets within villages. Customers are asked to limit calls to GPA's dispatch center to critical issues such as down power lines, blown transformers, low voltage conditions, or other situations that may present a safety concern. Again, GPA line crews will continue restoration work on transmission and distribution lines, the feeders and the circuits, as quickly and safely as possible. Continue to address generators for water wells and wastewater service and transition to island-wide power and other critical infrastructure. You know, and I've seen some of these very unfortunate comments about, I knew it. I knew that the trucks were not in Guam, that there were still some trucks in Saipan. We got that release yesterday.
Yeah.
But say it out loud and repeat it. It's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
We have our family and friends, our neighbors, people that we are connected to by the ocean that have suffered tremendously in the NMI. Tremendously. Some of their homes are gone. Completely gone. Right? I mean, their power system, their power plant is being generated by FEMA generators. They're in a very bad situation. And obviously, Rhoda got hit hard again.
Majorly.
And we're mad that we went out and helped.
Yeah. I can't stand those people.
Tizahu.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, because these people have to think that when we got hit by Mauar, those people in the CNMI, our brothers and sisters, actually came here to assist, in the restoration process of bringing our island back to the fold. And so we in kind do the exact same thing. And, I'm glad that we got a hold of Mr. Simon Sanchez, and he made that clarification. No, we got enough bucket trucks, and however, we are working with FEMA to bring those bucket trucks back. But in the meantime, we are still doing what we're going to do. And that, I mean, look at it. What's the percentage now of energized areas?
Almost 50%.
Almost 50%. And that is just the second day.
Right.
And so I know, everybody's mad. Everybody's hot-headed right now.
I want to say everybody.
Yeah. Well,
but, I mean, it's definitely getting attention.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, I heard. No, you didn't hear.
Yeah.
It's correct.
Yeah.
We know this. We knew that we sent the trucks out there.
Exactly.
It's not going to come out. You're not going to, they can't drive back here.
In Chamorro, they call that telephone halai.
No one was keeping that from anybody.
Before
we knew
WhatsApp,
the trucks went out there.
Before WhatsApp, that was the main source. That was back in the day social media.
But here's the confusing part too is I follow so many people now in Saipan and Rhoda and Tinian on TikTok, and when those trucks were making their way out to the NMI, man, the positive energy behind all of that.
Yeah.
Like, there were people that never knew about Guam and the CNMI, never knew that it existed, but it's getting so much attention. And then the reaction and the viral videos of the GPA trucks, going out there to assist, it got so much traction, right?
Yes.
So much positive energy and media attention. We knew that it went out there, that they went out there. We know this. And we're all happy about it.
Yes.
But now our power's out, and now we're like, why didn't you plan better? What are we talking about here?
How do you plan a storm? With like literally days and hours, right?
Yeah.
And then even at that, it goes back down. Okay, so the waters are still rough out there. Right, we're still feeling the feeder bands, the tail end of the storm, right? And so when these trucks come back, we have to wait until the ocean.
Or planes, but guess what? We don't have government planes.
Yeah.
We don't have government ships.
Yeah.
So we have to also coordinate that with those people that have planes.
Exactly.
And their schedule. And those people, the military.
Exactly.
The federal government.
And you go tell them you're mad that the trucks are there. They're gonna be like, oh really? Hey, that's,
if anybody,
sounds like a personal
there's
problem.
so much to be. There's so much accountability to go around. Because I'm not saying this, but I'm just saying, listen, how did they get there? Right?
Yeah.
And so we have to coordinate the same way to get them back.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. What goes up must come down. Yeah.
2:37 in the afternoon, we'll take the break.
Yes.
And then on the other side, there's more information that came in from the Joint Information Center.
Awesome. We'll be back right after this.
Island Voices, Island Conversations. Wave 105, the talk of Guam.
Got friends who still haven't switched to GTA? Now's the time to give them a nudge, because you can get up to $150 just for sending them our way. Refer a friend who signs up for a single service like wireless or internet, and you'll score $100. And if they go for a choice bundle, that's a cool $150 in your pocket. It's simple, it's sweet, and it pays to share. Visit GTA.net to start referring today. GTA, we start with you. Terms and conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more information.
Rise and shine with Roots Breakfast Buffet. Served daily from 6:30 to 9:30 a.m. at Guam Plaza Resort. Seniors enjoy 15% off for a limited time. Save your spot now. Call 671-649-7760 to reserve.
Knowledge is power. In just 60 seconds, the Evo 360 provides you a unique experience and a detailed report of your body composition for you to take action to improve your health. The Evo 360, turning information into inspiration to live a balanced lifestyle. Evo 360 is exclusively at the Take Care Wellness Center. Go to Simply Book Me or call 671-646-6956 extension 7260 for more information and to schedule an appointment with a member of the Take Care Wellness team.
Pat's Tinting and Detailing offers premier services from complete interior cleaning and VIP detailing. And to keep you cool, Pat's also offers factory, ceramic, blacked out, and base-approved auto tinting. For more information, call 647-SLAM.
The road to Adelup is off and running. This time, we sit down with Republican candidate Speaker Frank Blass and Dr. Mary Okada. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 7th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a glimpse of Guam radio station.
Strolling along country roads with my baby. It starts to rain, it begins to pour. Without an umbrella, we're soaked to the skin. I feel a shiver run up my spine. I feel the warmth of her hand in mine. Ooh, I hear laughter in the rain, walking hand in hand with the one I love. Ooh, how I love the rainy days and the happy
2:39 in the afternoon. Welcome back to the show. Here's the number 671-922-1051 or to be a part of the discussion. Talk to this gentleman right here, Mr. Pauly Suba.
Welcome back, 2:40 in the afternoon. Biba Sweat Biff.
Biba.
Let me see here. So back to the Joint Information Center recovery release number 12. The statement on typhoon debris disposal sites. It is now open. They are now open. Epal Point in Tamuning, the former GMH property, open every day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. through Saturday until July 25th. Vehicles must enter by 4:30 p.m. The site is only for residential typhoon debris, so no commercial businesses and contractors will not be able to use the location.
Okay.
Residents may bring yard waste like trees, branches, bushes, grass, leaves, storm damaged building material like lumber, plywood, drywall, glass, steel, roofing, and roofing materials.
Okay.
What is not accepted? Household trash, refrigerators, washers, dryers, and other appliances, TVs, computers, or electronics, hazardous chemicals, tires, vehicle parts, furniture, toilets or plumbing fixtures, medical or biological waste, other prohibited materials. Residents needing to dispose of those items should contact Guam Solid Waste Authority for proper disposal instructions. And so remember, when you do head over to EPAL Point and you are going to be disposing of what is allowed to be dumped there, you are reminded to wear closed-toe shoes and appropriate clothing, obviously to avoid injuries. I remember in Mawar, we were going and dumping all kinds of trash. We were allowed to dump a lot. Like they had mountains of sections of where to go, and they had a number of employees that were there, right? I want to say FEMA hired all of them as like temporary employees to run that temporary dump site over by Tizen.
Yeah.
Right? We were dumping trash in Zori. You know? I go to the transfer station in Zori. But you know, it's just a couple bags and it is household stuff. So I get it. I mean, you are throwing away like plywood and glass. You should be wearing closed toe. But for so many of us, right? A lot of times what are we wearing when we're cleaning up after a typhoon? Zori. Right? We're putting
all the Bahakians.
Yeah, our 5K t-shirt. Our 5K t-shirt or our campaign t-shirt.
Campaign t-shirts, yeah.
Right. You didn't even vote for the person, but you took it because it's
yeah.
free.
I still got my Tony Lamarena for senator.
And you didn't even vote for him.
No, I did. Yeah. I love Tony. He's a good friend. Love you, Tony.
Guru recovery centers are still closed. And so the Housing Recovery Application Center remains temporarily closed due to electrical problems and internet connectivity issues. It will reopen once those services are restored, and Guru will announce when it is ready to resume helping residents. And of course, please continue to stay out of the water because we are experiencing dangerous ocean conditions. Avoid beaches, piers, jetties, shoreline structures. And so we still have the high rip current risk that is in effect now through Friday afternoon. Dangerous along south, west, and north-facing reefs. Even experienced swimmers can still be swept out to sea. The high surf advisory is in effect until 4 p.m. today. Waves up to 11 feet expected along south and west-facing reefs. And we do have a small craft advisory that is still in effect until 4 p.m. today. Seas up to 10 feet. Conditions remain unsafe for small boats. And remember, the 988 number has been in effect all throughout the storm, way even before the storm. If you need anybody to talk to, if you need support, you can always call or text 988. You can even chat online through the 988 Lifeline website. So again, that is all the information because we already talked about GPA and power distribution and energizing the island. 46% of Guam's electricity demand has been restored. And so that's a lot better than yesterday. And then all of the substations are now energized. However, now the challenge is getting all of that energy through the feeder lines to your homes. And so 39 of Guam's 67 distribution feeders are now partially energized. So that's about 58%. There's plenty of energy too to power the whole island. So it has nothing to do with the lack of power. We are definitely not in the same situation than worse conditions than our brothers and sisters in the CNMI. Again, their power plant, which I forget which one it is. Is it Rhoda?
Rhoda.
The power plant is being energized by FEMA generators.
Oh, no, that's Tinian.
That's Tinian,
yeah,
see?
that's Tinian. And They were without power for 55 days before the generators came in, and of course, when GPA folks went over there to the CNMI, of course they hit the ground running with Saipan, and I know that my girlfriend told me that some now the GPA people they've been in Tinian for the last 3 weeks, stringing up their lines and everything, but they are on generator power, and I believe the CNMI is only before the typhoon. I think it was operating at probably 60%. So most of the,
they've had their own power challenges before the typhoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's, you see, and that's the thing about it too, is that we, when you really think about what they're going through, a lot of people don't realize Tinian pretty much lost their power station. I spoke to the mayor when he was here for the benefit concert that they were doing at the office, and he told me that the roof of the power station went out. I mean, there's no more roof, and they have to assess the engines, for the power station, and even after that, they have to wire it into the computer system. So that's they're looking at probably being back to normal probably at the end of the year, but now it's probably been pushed back further till next year, considering we just went through they were feeling the same winds that we were feeling,
right?
Even though it wasn't direct. We were feeling the 100-mile-per-hour winds, and so right now I don't even know what the status is. So, but this is just something that we all have to go through, and just be patient, pretty much, and stop complaining. I'm it's all about preparation, and there was the guy that I was
you
talking
can complain, but if you sound insensitive, with the whole situation. And I understand that there are people that have valid concerns, especially when you don't have water. And so let's get you connected, especially if you are in a vulnerable state. But I'm telling you, there are a number of people that are complaining that should understand that there are so many scenarios or reasons why your power isn't on right now.
Okay,
and it has nothing to do with anybody circling your name and saying you won't get power.
Yeah, no, you see, if they want to be sensitive, let me be insensitive too. Dude, you're not the only one. You're not special. Everybody's going through it.
Right.
So if you're just going to sit there and bicker and complain about what you don't have and everything, well, the next door neighbor near you doesn't have it either. And he's not complaining. Unless, I get it. There are people, like, for instance...
Because if you need oxygen, then let's try to get you connected with somebody that can get you the oxygen.
Yeah.
Because I still remember the Senlaku story, an emotional story of an individual that was talking about his father's last days and just trying to bring him home.
Yeah.
Right? And so a lot of people heard that story and wanted to do whatever they could to assist. Purchase a generator, rent a generator to him, donate a generator so they can take him to his house, to the home that he recognizes, and spend his final days there in peace and in comfort. And his father held on to the very last minute or hour, refused to let go at the hospital because all he wanted was to spend his last days or hour at his home. And the community came out and supported him and made that happen. That's beautiful.
It is.
That's the kind of community that we are. because everybody else that is doing other things other than that, you are not the example.
I'm going, everybody, you, me, everybody. And we're, being patient, it's anybody, like you said, can complain, but when it's uncalled for, and I'm going through the same thing.
And right now, it's Thursday. It's uncalled for.
Yeah, I mean, it's like two days already just passed, and but it's the same thing. We saw it with Sinlaku. A lot of people. When is my power coming in? I'm like, really, okay. Unless you're Pauly, don't. And what you experience, don't talk to me about not having power. Because, how many days before you got your power back on?
8 days for Sinlaku.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend in Tinian, 55 days. Yeah. And when power came back on, it was generator power.
Right.
So come on, people.
I think we're on day 3 because I'm not counting Monday.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous if you count Monday.
Yeah.
Monday is when the typhoon was here.
Yeah.
Right. And so when did it come back on? It came back. When did it leave? Early Monday morning, right? Early Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And then Core 4 at 10 a.m. On Tuesday. It's Thursday.
You just mentioned
Thursday.
Many places, so many villages, the last 30 minutes, and we are only on our second day. And they said these villages, we are going to get to these villages, from today or the next 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, look how fast they're going, and mind you, they haven't had rest.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they went to work without even thinking about their families, or their power situation. They're doing it, because like, Joyce Sayama said, this is our home. This is our island. We're going to do everything we can to get us back up and running.
Right.
So just be patient, folks. I mean,
for sure. I think also when you look at some of what everybody's doing to recover, right? We also have to understand that we got to start thinking about the next one as well, as far as mitigation, right? And so there are people starting to talk about, well, if this is what's going to keep happening, we need to put the power lines underground. Well, do we have $7 billion? And so Joyce also shared with us that is why it's so very important to have serious conversations with the federal government and find out ways where they can support this community, right? Again, it's not a handout. It's so many people are experiencing this right now. Because you don't have enough housing inventory, many of your military members are living outside into the community. And so I remember growing up, more and more people, because of how many typhoons were coming, one after another, at least 2 a year. People started investing in generators.
It's about the brass tacks, right? If it's going to cost $7 billion, okay, what is the end result on the
our power bill is going to be out of control.
Exactly.
We just can't afford that.
So, when everybody starts talking like, why can't GPA put lines underground?
How much is the power right now? Like, I know mine's pretty dang close to 400. I fight real hard to keep it under that.
Yeah.
So imagine how much my power bill is going to be
if it was all
just
underground.
us.
That we have
to pay for that.
We have to pay back the loans that we get to put everything underground.
Right. But when I think about also the generators that we were purchasing, right? Because families, I was just a child. More and more families were starting to purchase generators, right? Because that was how we were going to get through this. We were tired. Families were tired of having to be in the dark consistently, right? Experiencing 2 typhoons a year. So we started putting our money aside and purchasing generators that can, make us at least get through a night. Not necessarily AC, but a light, couple fans, and just get through a night. More and more families were doing that. But then what happened? We started getting less typhoons. And what happened was we weren't maintaining our home generators. That costs a lot of money. And so more and more generators started to go out of commission, including businesses, because we were relying heavily on the main grid, because we didn't have to rely on the generators that we were purchasing, the commercial generators. Some homes, my goodness, they'll power up like a 2-story house. I remember growing up. You know, that's how much investment they did.
You see, and my thing though is that, okay, great. We support GPA fully, but when they do the increase, I think a lot of people are frustrated. It's like, hey, look, man, we all we see is all these increase happening and everything, but the service is almost not up to par, and it goes back to the whole, why can't we just get,
turn it on
right after the typhoon? I mean, there's so many. So I understand the frustrations with people, but
we can if we get underground.
Yeah, but but look at that. Going back to the brass tacks of it, right? About 60,000, right? Paying customers. I want to say, whatever the number is.
We'll have to foot the cost of that infrastructure.
Our government runs at a $1.4 billion deal.
Which, by the way, we're going to get into later on, because the substitute budget bill is out. I have a copy of it. They went into session this morning. However, they recessed until 10 a.m. tomorrow because
I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
There was so many confusion. Senator Will Parkinson talked about how he had the wrong one, and his staff, they did a bunch of research on a budget bill that they're not even going to debate on.
Wow.
And so there was some confusion apparently. And so I guess it was valid. Senator Sabrina Salas-Mantanani said, I didn't have a chance to look at it at all. I mean, we just went through a Category 5 typhoon. Nobody's thinking about a budget bill right now. And so I agree with that. That makes a lot of sense. But this is what you did to yourselves. You did this, the legislature as a whole. Like, maybe you can blame one or two people, but you said you were going to do this budget bill in record amount of time in July before August 1st. Because you could have done it a little bit later. You could also still spread it out. You don't need to do this whole 3 days going all the way till 10 or 11 at night.
Yeah, I mean, the standard would be, and this is the standard in the past, they would go all the way up to September, right?
Yeah, because it ends September 30. And so, but the legislature as a whole has agreed. And you can put it on the speaker, you can put it on the majority. It's up to you. However, as a whole, the legislature has decided to do this now and do it in a short amount of time. And you have until September 30. You really do.
Yeah. And it's only because it's they give that month courtesy for the governor to go through all the agencies and everything.
Yes, so, but again,
by October 1st is when the new budget kicks in.
Yes. Yeah. But again, we just went through a storm.
Yeah.
And so what is another day? What is another 3 days?
Be nice, Pauly. It's election year. Everybody was like, I don't want to worry about this budget.
But I was also told that it has nothing to do with that either. I was also told that the schedule is very tight, regardless of whether we had the storm or not. They wanted to get through this in maybe a week and a half, if that.
Okay.
If that. For $1.4 billion budget, you should go.
Spread it out. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of numbers. A lot of zeros behind that 4.
Maybe some of these agencies don't need to have all of this money. Maybe some agencies need to have a little bit more. Let's have a very thought out dialogue, discussion, and debate.
Okay. I'm just going to say it right now. Okay. I'm going to talk about the big elephant in the room. It's election year. All right. And budgets can make you happy, can make you sad, can make you mad. Right. And it comes down to Gov Guam being the biggest voting block there is, aside from, the private sector and whatnot. I mean, there's like, 13,000, Yeah, I want to say 13, maybe 12,000.
But see, that's the...
Yeah. Registered voters?
So I guess, but the private sector outnumber
yeah.
the GovGuam employees by...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know,
yeah.
by so much. The problem is we're not as organized.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we do. Private sector outnumbers government for sure. And so... You know,
and when you're working in the private sector, you could care less about what you say about it. you and I don't have that, you know. We
not
don't,
beholden to anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Even when I was, technically, I'm not beholden to nobody. I'm not going to, nobody got me this job. And if you say you got me the job, say it out loud for everybody. You got me the job? That sounds like corruption. I got the job myself by my own merits. I applied for the job. Nobody got me the job. Nobody gave me the job. Nobody gave me canopies to set up for my funeral. No, it's a public service.
Yeah.
Are you not a government agency? Are you not the place? Are you not the mayor's office that provides this during bereavement? Are you not the agency that's supposed to pave roads? Nobody's doing me any favors. You're doing your job, and so that's that.
I was actually working...
Because I hate it when people go, hey, I'm going to vote for this person because they did all of this for me while my family was suffering after the funeral or during the funeral.
They brought the pot roast.
They didn't do anything that they weren't supposed to do. And if they did, that sounds like corruption to me.
How's about this? This is the one, you know. So I know this candidate one time, right? There was a gentleman that came in and, you know, went to the fundraiser and he brought some Kelligwin and some stuff for the fundraiser. He's like, hey, you know, when you get in, you think you can hire my daughter? And the guy was like, hold on for a second. You're bringing what, like 3 bowls of Kelligwin? Let's tell you what, why don't I give you $100 right now and call it even?
Yes.
You know, because, you know, that guy, that candidate did not operate like that.
Right.
You know, I'm going to hire the best people.
Absolutely.
You know, right for the job and everything. I mean, right then and there, the corruption started. It was like, nah, man. You know, I mean, I've heard like, you know, we got to vote for so and so because they donated the Letzen to the fiesta.
Yeah, I've heard it too. Hey, they really helped us out during the Matai.
Yeah.
If they helped out, they did it out of the kindness of their heart. Otherwise, we should go tell somebody that they use government resources to get elected.
There are some senators that still operate with the Matai list. I'm telling you.
All right, we got to take the break.
Yes.
KGUM FM in Dededo, Guam. Oh, on the other side, Mayor BJ Talai. I got to remind him because even though the Liberation Parade has been canceled, they do want to do something very special. Because we do have a Liberation Queen.
Yes.
And so we definitely want to continue to recognize her and her efforts. So we'll talk to Mayor BJ after these right here on Wave 105.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Democrat Graham Plattner says he plans to withdraw from Maine's U.S. Senate race amid a sexual assault allegation. The state Democratic Party has said it will hold a convention to replace him. Another round of U.S. strikes on Iran as President Trump warns it will get much worse if Iran doesn't stop attacking ships in the Strait of Hormuz. But Sakar Magani reports it's been a day of mixed messages.
At the NATO summit in Turkey, the president said Iran should be ready again after U.S. strikes last night.
I'll give him a little warning. We're going to hit them hard tonight.
Saying Iranian attacks in the Strait of Hormuz effectively ended a ceasefire. Hours later, he said this is not a return to full-scale war.
I don't think it's going to start again. I think it's going to go very quickly.
But at the same time,
we can play games, but I'm not sure I want to make a deal. Let's just finish the job.
The president's repeatedly threatened to ramp up attacks on Iran before pulling back, and his latest remarks add more uncertainty. Sagar Magani, Washington.
In New York, residents and hotel guests now being allowed to return to a Midtown Manhattan neighborhood cordoned off because of a high-rise at risk of collapse.
Sally Grant and Margaret Clark were among those waiting to be let back into the Hampton Inn. Clark says,
we come all the way from Scotland for Bon Jovi and really did enjoy the gig.
When they evacuated, they were told to leave their belongings, including their credit cards, passports, and medication.
People's safety, we don't blame them, but They could have given us 5 minutes to grab our belongings.
Grant says they had to sleep on the street.
No one would help us, and we were on the streets all night. Not safe at all. We did not feel safe at all.
The area is returning back to a semblance of normal after 2 mangled support beams and sagging floors on the 21st floor of the former Pfizer building early Tuesday triggered mass evacuations and street closures. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
This is AP News. Preventing drowning.
4,000 to 5,000 Americans drown each year. Most are adults, but statistically speaking, drowning is a much larger danger to children. Those numbers rose from about 750 in 2019 to more than 860 in 2024, the most recent year for which complete data is available. Tessa Clemens is with the CDC Foundation.
Drowning remains the leading cause of death for children 1 to 4 in the United States, and it's also the second leading cause of injury death for children 5 to 14, but it is preventable.
Research shows lifeguard standards and life jacket regulations can make a difference. Also, requirements that swimming pools be completely surrounded by fences with self-latching gates. And advocates suggest swimming lessons for young kids and caregivers paying close attention when young children are around water. I'm Julie Walker.
There are more stories at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
KGUM-FM, Dedido, the talk of Guam. This is Wave 105.1 FM, a Glimpses media radio station.
Got friends who still haven't switched to GTA? Now's the time to give them a nudge, because you can get up to $150 just for sending them our way. Refer a friend who signs up for a single service like wireless or internet, and you'll score $100. And if they go for a choice bundle, that's a cool $150 in your pocket. It's simple, it's sweet, and it pays to share. Visit GTA.net to start referring today. GTA, we start with you. Terms and conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more information.
Pat's Tinting and Detailing offers premier services from complete interior cleaning and VIP detailing. And to keep you cool, Pat's also offers factory, ceramic, blacked out, and base-approved auto tinting. For more information, call 647-SLAM.
Rise and shine with Roots Breakfast Buffet. Served daily from 6:30 to 9:30 a.m. at Guam Plaza Resort. Seniors enjoy 15% off for a limited time. Save your spot now. Call 671-649-7760 to reserve.
Knowledge is power. In just 60 seconds, the eVolt 360 provides you a unique experience and a detailed report of your body composition for you to take action to improve your health. The eVolt 360, turning information into inspiration to live a balanced lifestyle. eVolt 360 is exclusively at the Take Care Wellness Center. Go to Simply Book Me or call 671-646-6956 extension 7260 for more information and to schedule an appointment with a member of the Take Care Wellness
Guam is building the future, and the right conversations start here. SAME Guam Post invites you to the 2026 Industry Forum happening July 28 through 30 at the Dusitani Resort. Join military, government, and industry leaders as they come together to discuss Guam's future in infrastructure, resilience, and regional growth. This premier event connects you to Guam's next generation of infrastructure. Registration is open. Visit GuamIndustryForum.com. The 2026 SAME Industry Forum, delivering Indo-Pacific readiness.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, may I ask a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog.
Great. Do you have a pool outside?
Nope, just a big old backyard.
Nice. Another question. Are there any unlocked guns in the home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about what we can bring for dessert.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
As parents, we have a million things running through our minds. Playdates, checkups, groceries, laundry, diapers, work, carpool schedules, picture day, swim team, did we mention diapers, birthday parties, meal prep, lost permission slips, dentist appointments, and the dog that still needs to be walked. So it's easy to make a mistake. Oh, I forgot birthday candles. Sit tight, hon. I'll be right back. We say we'd never put our kids in danger by leaving them in the car alone. Oh, wait. Since when are candles not on the baking aisle? But never happens. And temperatures as low as 60 degrees can be deadly for children left behind. So always bring them with you, and every time you park the car, stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To kids, summer isn't just time off. It's time spent building confidence and curiosity. But when school meals pause, millions of kids lose access to the food they count on during the school year. As a neighbor-led network, Feeding America is deeply rooted in every community, ensuring summer meals continue nourishing growth and potential. Your support puts healthy food within reach, fueling the future for kids and their families. Give now at feedingamerica.org/summerhunger.
My name is Erica, and my son Kason is a patient at Shriners Children. My oldest called me and said Kason got burnt. The trauma doctor came in and said he needs to go to Shriners.
His injury was a big injury, and I think a testament to the care that we provide. He's fully functional. He's riding his dirt bike, doing all of the things that you would want him to do.
We're just so thankful that Kason is still here. Go online right now to loveshriners.org.
The road to Adelup is off and running. This time, we sit down with Republican candidate Speaker Frank Blass and Dr. Mary Okada. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 7th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a glimpse of Guam radio station.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel the glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight.
Welcome back to the show, 3:13 in the afternoon. Let's send it back to the host, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
Welcome back. We do want to thank our sponsors, GTA. We start with you. Triple J Ford. Get that free $500 gas card when you drive home with a new Ford truck. Visit triplejguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh. Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. And Micropack, bringing Guam the brand you trust and the service you deserve since 1968. So we're going to the phone lines now.
Yes.
Right here on the bright side, this is the mayor of Zotnya, Mayor BJ Terlai. Hafaday.
Hafaday, brother Pauly. Thank you very much. Buenas hafaday, Toru.
Hafaday. I thank you as well for being on the air with us so we can, first of all, because I haven't had the opportunity, things got really busy as we started to transition and talk about the incoming super typhoon Bavi, but I wanted to congratulate the village of Zotnya for winning the crown for liberation, right? And so the Liberation Queen is from Zotnya, Ella Marie Cepeda, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
There you go. And so maybe can we talk a little bit about the pageant first? Because that was something that I really wanted to talk to you before, but everything got hectic here, and so we never had that opportunity. And maybe we can talk about some of the good news, right? And a lot of the good news was the pageant.
Right.
Yeah.
So since last year, what the mayor's council did approve was and I know we've spoken about this a while. I think it was last year, was the approval of enhancing the liberation to include a pageant portion, right? And so it was very successful last year, and it was just as successful this year. of course, we would love a little bit more participation within the villages, right?
Okay.
And so we continue to push for that. However, we did have a phenomenal pageant with 5 phenomenal ladies. My hats go off to them, their coordinators, their families, and most specifically their villages and their respected mayors. This year was much elevated because we know we've experienced it last year. And we kind of took a step back. The Liberation Committee took a step back and said, how can we improve the quality of this particular, because it really is an entertaining show, right? And so, and it just the level that the level of pageantry that was brought to the table and was showcased that evening was just truly spectacular.
That's great.
And what we tried to do, and we did it last year, and we did it this year intentionally, was to crown the queen prior to the first event that will happen for liberation.
Right.
And which already that has been, it was already designated or set and confirmed that July 5th would have been the Meninga Memorial services, right? And so what we did was just like we did last year, was the 82nd Liberation Committee decided that we were going to have the pageant 1 week prior to July 5th, which was on June 27th.
Right.
We'd had it because Leo Palace was such a great sponsor last year. We reached out to them, and they were willing to do it.
That's great.
And so it's pretty much starting to feel like the Leo Palace is becoming the home, right, of the liberation, coronation, and pageant. So, the people at Leo Palace have been very, very supportive in this endeavor. And so we brought it back to Leo Palace, and it was just a very, very phenomenal show, that I have to say. We crowned, our Liberation Queen, and I'm grateful that she is from the village of Jornia. I think when I was doing my research, the last time we had a Liberation Queen in the village of Jornia was back in the 1990s. And so, it was a very proud moment for the people of Jornia. You know me, brother, I'm all about bringing our people together, right? And so, this was just one event that really elevated the community of Jornia. And so, looking forward to moving forward, right, with our community and our constituents. And so, even though Typhoon Bobby has set back a lot of the events that were forthcoming, were actually being planned, our queen and her royal court are still very much excited to move forward in whatever events that we do have planned to continue to celebrate and commemorate the 82nd Liberation.
Yeah, when I'm looking at some of the photos too, and what a beautiful crown that is, and you can tell that everybody
heavy too, very heavy as well.
Yeah, became emotional too, and so
right.
It's I appreciate the whole committee for putting together something that just continues to bring honor to such a prestigious title, right? I mean, so much history. Right. I mean, the 82nd Liberation Queen, and when you look back and you see who has held that title, what you did was elevate the crown, elevate the whole position, and so it's very cool to see the hard work that is going into this committee to make sure that we continue the legacy and the history.
Right. I agree. One thing about me is that prior to me taking office, right, I always bring this to the table is I'm an educator. And so I totally believe that in order for a culture to survive, it needs to evolve, and so not taking away any of the the legacy of the Liberation Queen, but just enhancing it and bringing more of a modern twist to the Liberation Queen, to the crown, like you said, and and just having our ladies hone in on not only winning the crown, but what is the importance of that crown? Why, and what is the importance of the title as Liberation, Queen? So you are an ambassador to Guam's greatest generation, which is our survivors, who we do honor every single year, in every liberation, and not only every liberation, but throughout the year. And so, I would be very, very, I would feel very, very bad if I took the credit, if the credit was given to me. So I would like to express my deepest gratitude first and foremost to the 82nd Liberation Committee that were they were the foundation and the backbone to this particular event. Most specifically to Crimsonia Amistad, who was their coach, the candidates coach, and then also to the choreographer, Sina Raymond Lujan, and then of course to the Mayor's Council of Guam, and most specifically to the village mayors that did participate in this event. So, it's really a collective effort that really pulls on the commitment of not only the candidate and her family, but even the community of that village as a whole, right? And so, coming together at the end of the day, we are celebrating the women that stepped forward, but keeping in mind what their advocacy will be about, and that's to commemorate the liberation, and to always live in that specific honor, right? And so I'm very, very, very happy, and I'm very grateful for these 5 individuals that hoping that they would be showcased during our parade. However, because of the current situation that we are in, I think that any which way that our ladies will be exposed to the community and giving back to the community in any way possible would be a tremendous gift to our island of Guam.
Oh, for sure, because with the Liberation Parade, what we always look forward to at the very end is,
of course,
the Royal Court Parade, right? The Queen's float going by, and so let's identify the individuals because they worked very hard. Miss Ambassador Kayleen Naroon of Chalampago Ordot, Miss International Kaylin Jabard of Tamuning, Tumon, and Harmon, Princess Phyllis Shajade, Cepeda Salas of Jigo. How do I say that?
Felicia Jade.
Oh, okay, Felicia Jade. There you go. Yeah. Oh, my bad. I totally butchered that name, Felicia Jade.
Royal. Trust me, brother. I had to say that name a couple of times.
Okay, got it.
Back and forth. Yeah.
Royal Princess Eden Blaze Pablo Cruz of Santa Rita Sumai, and of course the 82nd Liberation Queen of Zotnya, Ella Marie Cepeda.
Yeah.
And so,
congratulations to all 5 of them.
So, understanding that it looks like for right now, I was speaking with President of the Council yesterday. He said that he had a conversation with the Chief of Staff at Adelup and said there won't be a Liberation Parade. And then I went back and watched your meeting that took place yesterday. And you started to have the conversation of a unified memorial service at least. And I believe you voted on, as a whole, that there will be Mass on Liberation Day, July 21st. And then from there, you would go to the unified memorial. And so that could be anywhere in Hagåtña. I know Mayor Hoffman talked about the possibility of having it at the Academy Gym. And so I don't know if all of those things got taken care of. But after that, I believe it was you, right, that asked that we continue to honor the Queen and the court especially because they work so hard. And so what now? What kind of discussions are happening now to recognize them?
Well, stepping into the chairing this event, right? It was always, of course, to elevate the Queen, but always to keep her legacy, and then secondly, to be ambassadors to the island, even beyond liberation. Yes, we look forward, and I'm going to be very honest. I was disappointed, because that we weren't having a parade, but I understand completely because my village is in restoration efforts as well, right? We are in the restoration period. So I understand completely. And so we are trying to visit different avenues, different suggestions, or different areas that we can we can celebrate our ladies, and when I brought that up in the Mayor's Council meeting, I know that I just had to say it, right? Because yes, we are always going to honor our survivors. We're always going to honor our greatest generation. But I just wanted to make sure that I put it out there that each of the ladies deserve recognition as well. And so we cannot forget that. I know that the mayors, my colleagues, understand that, and they knew about that, but I just had to put it on record, right?
And their efforts too, because don't they aren't they all? Didn't they also do a lot of work towards a nonprofit to get to fundraise for them, right? So those efforts aren't going to go unnoticed either.
Right. So even though the parade has been canceled, we are still moving forward with the Queen's brunch, right? And so that has already been decided that it's going to be on July 26th.
Okay.
And that was decided a while back. And so we're going to move forward. I did ask the president if we can move forward in the plans, and of course everybody had agreed. So we're moving forward in that. But I know that in this unified memorial service, I know that our Queen and her royal court will be heavily involved in this, and then after the liberation events are over, with whatever liberation events are planned for this year, I know that I'm already working and reaching out to the Guam Visitors Bureau to see how our queens can also be advocates in promotions.
There's a number of Tumon night markets that are dedicated to the liberation. And so there will be multiple Tumon night markets in July dedicated to liberation. Yeah, right?
Agreed. And so that's where I haven't really sat down and spoke with her, with President Regine Biscoli. But I know that I did meet her in one public event, and I said, sister, let's get together and let's kind of discuss how we can move forward with celebrating our queens and how they can assist in different ways, not only in liberation events but also beyond, right? And so because that's the goal, right? And so she did acknowledge, and so once we get that all squared away, maybe we can have another conversation in regards to moving forward with that. But right now we're focusing on the unified event, unified memorial service, and nothing has been set in stone. So I know that there's still continuous discussions, but I know full well that our 5 queens will be heavily involved in these specific events.
And again, I have to thank you as well for putting that pageant together, because we haven't had a local pageant in forever, whether it's Miss Universe or Miss World and Miss Tourism. I know that there was a Miss Tourism, there's a Miss International, and there have been a few pageants where they have a Guam representative that's never even set foot in Guam. And so that's very disappointing to hear that happens. And so the hope is that we know that we have a pageant, and it's a very prestigious crown the Liberation Queen. And now that there is a pageant, we can get more people to buy in and understand how important this role is.
Right. Well, brother, in just kind of emulating what you're saying, right? Augmenting what you're saying is when you look at, of course, the Miss Guam universe, Miss Guam World, Miss Earth Guam, all of these pageants are international pageants, yes, and we have representatives from our island represent. But when you look at all the pageants and you put the Liberation Queen pageant within those pageants, that's the only one that is ours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's the only one that I feel we should elevate because it is our own. And so, no disrespect to the Miss Guam World or the Miss Earth Guam. Those are franchises that are a partnership with the main entity, right? Which is
absolutely.
Not,
but to be fair, we haven't had a pageant. And so,
exactly.
And not going to blame anybody for why we're not. But the one pageant that we got going on is the Miss Liberation pageant.
Right. Yes. That's my take on this. Was just I always said, well, we haven't had one even before COVID.
Right.
So this is something that the island. I mean, I remember when I was younger and I would hear about the Miss Guam universe, and I was always excited to go and watch it because it just brought the whole community together. And so, in essence, I'm hoping that if the liberation is such of an importance to our island, then the Queen, whoever she may be, should also be just as important, right? And so I think that I'm hoping that as time progresses and we move on to the 83rd, 84th, and forward, right? I'm hoping that this will gain the attention of our community and also have, like you said, people buy into this and make it such a huge event to where we have to pack the UOG field out and beyond, right? So, that's what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the futuristic part to this. Yes, we're celebrating every year. We celebrate our Queen, but it's ours, and we should put more effort into that because it is ours. And so.
Also, I think there's many opportunities to have our Queen and ambassador. More front-facing with GVB. If there's so many travels, they're traveling a lot. As an ambassador, the Queen travels along with this team and is there representing Guam and can have have conversations with visitors, potential visitors, about how beautiful Guam is and what the culture is all about, and have even talking parts too.
No, I feel, and so I agree, and that's the reason why, in this pageant we have question and answer, because I think that as beautiful as our girls are, they should be well educated in regards to what is liberation, and then also the island, our history and moving forward, right? Is well equipped and well educated about our island. Because if you're going to be an ambassador, yes, you're going to wear a crown that's going to represent our island.
Right.
You need to know our island, and so that's why I'm very, very grateful for our coaches that come in, because that gives our ladies much more of an outlook on understanding her role, not just as a beautiful face, right, but also knowledgeable and educated about the people that she is representing.
Yeah, for sure, because no offense to any marketing expert at GVB, but I think the potential visitors that go to these booths would really love to hear from the lady representing Guam with the beautiful crown on her head and the sash that says Miss Liberation Guam. And so if she has the microphone and if she is sharing to come home or come to Guam because of our culture and our hospitality, then I think that makes an even bigger impact.
Right, and I'm not in the tourism business, right? But I've been in the cultural preservation business, so it's I know what visitors want to see. They want to be with the people. They want to see the people. They want to see the culture. They want to live the people, if that makes sense, right? And so, like, when people ask me, well, if I want to know Guam and I want to see Guam, where should I go? And I said, well, you need to get with one of the residents. You need to get with one of the locals. I mean, yes, all of these, the metropolitan Tumon and everything. Yes, it's beautiful, but to really get in deep with understanding and knowing knowing where you're going, get in with the locals. When I travel, I'm going to be very honest. When I travel, I don't go where the tourists go. I want to go where the locals are going. I want to experience what the locals are living every single day. And so that's where I see that, because even though our Liberation Queen, she's wearing a crown, but she's from the island. She's from our home. So she knows, she lives this life. And so to take that experience of just living on the island and being a Chamorro or a Guamanian living on this island, that, just telling her story, it will emulate to the tourist saying, man, I want to go to this island. I want to see what she's talking about. So just being real and upfront, with whoever she's talking to, and trying to bring to our island to visit.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor. I really appreciate this. I also just wanted to get a better understanding of some of the challenges you're facing in the village. I heard you also share that your Zotnya gym is not ready to be a shelter, and yet it's identified as such. And so what is the confusion behind that? I heard you saying that it's more so should be condemned than be used for a shelter.
Right. So, our gymnasium, I have to say, our gymnasium has been identified, yes. And again, when I sat in office, I was questioned. We were given that question, are you sure you want your gymnasium to be a Tier 2 shelter? And I said, of course, I do. And the reason why I say this is because, there are a lot of residents, not only in the village of Jotnya, but also in our southern villages, right, that need to seek shelter during natural disasters, right? And so, growing up, I've always known that when we have a typhoon, Emulahan Elementary School is designated as a shelter, right? And so, I want to make sure that our community has a place that they can feel safe. And so when I was posed with that question, I said, of course, I want to move forward with a Tier 2 shelter. And actually, it was designated from my predecessors, that it is to be a Tier 2 shelter. So they just emphasized the question to me, and I said, yes, of course, I want this to be a Tier 2 shelter. However, moving forward with the funding and and getting the gym equipped to accommodate our constituents and even our brothers and sisters in the other districts, we're not ready. Right. We're not ready to move forward. As a matter of fact, we are in the processes of doing the groundwork and the paperwork to get the project moving. But these natural disasters typhoons are coming quickly to where, even if we started renovations, it will probably have to be, of course, it would have to be on hold because, we have to prepare for a typhoon. So what do we do in the meantime, right? And so, when it was brought to my attention during Typhoon Senlaku that, a Tier 2 shelter was identified, or Jotnya was identified, I was kind of surprised because I knew that we were identified, but I just didn't know it was going to be that quick. You know what I mean? And so, I of course I said, as much as I would love to take to take our constituents in, we're just not ready. And so, what I want to do is I want to move forward in making sure that all the paperwork and the groundwork is laid out so that when we do move forward and we start renovations, then there's no setbacks, right? And so, but like I said, these storms are coming pretty quickly this year, and it's not giving us enough time. Now, as we're preparing for that, and as these storms are coming, the gym continuously gets slammed with other issues, right? With maybe it's a leak during Typhoon Sinlaku. Now the leak becomes a broken awning on the side. So, of course, I'm moving into condemning the gym as a whole for safety reasons, right? Okay. I spoke to my recreational leader who actually takes care of the area, and I said, brother, what do you think? And I said, I don't want to put any of our constituents or any of our visitors that are using the gymnasium for recreational purposes, right? I don't want to put them in any harm's way, and that's an issue. That's a legal issue that I do not want to even venture into, right? And so, as we're doing our assessments with the gym, it's pretty evident that we're moving into pretty much condemning the place until we start getting those renovations in place and start moving forward with the progress.
Is there any way to temporarily remove the Zotnya gym from from identifying it as a Tier 2 shelter so this doesn't happen again? Because I understand they identified it as such for Sinlaku, and then you told them it's not ready, and here they are 2 months later still identifying it as a Tier 2 shelter for Bavi.
I think, of course, that is a question that I didn't really think about. I think that it's something that I can look into, and I can probably get an answer to that. But I personally was under the impression that we're moving forward in this Tier 2 shelter in the progressive state to where we get renovations started so that when a natural disaster does come, we can accommodate whoever our constituents are, right?
Right.
I didn't know that it would be placed as one of the shelters that may be ready for this particular storm. So that's something that I would have to look into. Thank you for bringing that up because I never thought about it.
Only because I understand the frustration on both sides. GDOE is saying we've done what we need to do. Now it's time to move the residents to Tier 2. However, I understand where the mayors are coming. You can't bring them into our shelters because there are so many issues that we're facing, and these are the same issues that we were facing during Bavi. And so it is a logistical nightmare. It is a liability to bring these residents that still need to be sheltered into an unsafe environment, an unsafe facility, because yours is not the only one. I heard Jigo was saying the same thing. And also Hoggett with the electrical issues. So, I mean...
So we all... I'm going to speak, as a blanket, is that we are all on the same page when it comes to this.
Right.
Because we share the same sentiments. I think right now at this particular point in time, because we are facing a lot of restoration efforts and trying to get out to the community as much as we can, I think that question of, are you ready to be a Tier 2 shelter, just kind of caught us, and it posed a question. Hold on, we're not, we're not ready. So I can bring that back to the table and say, hey, well, in the meantime, as we're preparing, why don't we just step away from that and say, okay, we're not ready to be a teacher. I don't know the legalities to that, because I don't know of what temporary words we can say or temporary documents we can put in, but there's definitely a suggestion that we can look at.
Yeah, something so that way they don't identify you as such in such a short amount of time, just saying, well, we're looking at our list. It says Zotnya Gym, Tier 2. However, in the notes, it says it has a leak and so it's not safe. Or just put not safe and then they go to the next one. This one's also not safe. This one's also not safe. This one's also not safe.
I totally agree. Yeah. You know, and so I think to answer your question, I think we should revisit that, you know, and kind of
because whoever is the civil defense coordinator can go right back to GDOE and says, sorry, you guys got to hold on to them for a little bit longer until we identify either the American Red Cross sets something up. But for right now, there are no tier 2s based on the list that we have.
True.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
I appreciate you so much and the entire Mayor's Council and everybody, too. I think we're all doing the same mission, right? As far as making sure that all the residents on the island are safe. GDOE's got the same mission. And so I really appreciate all of the first responders for doing all of this. Well, thank you for that, brother.
I'm very grateful. It's nice to kind of sit down a little bit, maybe 5 minutes from my busy 24-hour schedule, right? To sit down a little bit and just take my hat off and just relax a little bit and kind of, speak to you and talk about how our restoration efforts are moving forward and how we can continue to assist our community, but then also talking about, you know, the legacy of our queens. Because, you know, I'm always gonna stand up for our queens. I'm always going to be their voice, you know? And regardless if we have a parade or not, you know, if, you know, God willing, I'm still standing. I'm always going to be their voice to make sure that they are represented and their hard work doesn't go unnoticed and that the community of Guam knows who they are, you know, and the work that they've done.
I mean, you're just a fine example of what our mayors do, right? You wear many hats. You assist during emergencies. You make sure that your residents are taken care of during disasters, before, during, and after. And you also take on the responsibility for pageants and parades that we hold dearly to. And so that's just 2 hats that you wear. And so thank you so much to your team, your office over in Zotnya, and your staff and everybody involved, because I know you have many volunteers, including your municipal planning council who volunteer their time, right?
Yeah, I wanna give a shout out to my staff. You know, we call ourselves our Georgia Mayor's team.
There you go.
You know, they've been out there 24/7 as well. You know, in harsh conditions, and we're still working in very not suitable conditions, but just to make sure that our community, and I'm sure that the other mayors are doing the exact same thing, just making sure that our community, our constituents, know that they are safe and they're taken care of.
All right, Mayor. Thank you so much. We'll keep in touch, and if there's anything that you want to put out on the radio, you let us know.
Of course. I just want to, remind our community about, the upcoming Unified Memorial that will be, once everything is confirmed, I know that it will be set out to the community of Guam. And then also, our Queen's Brunch, once we get all of that information squared away and everything confirmed, we will definitely let the community of Guam know. It's nice to have some breath of fresh air amidst all of this, this restoration period that we're in right now.
Okay, Mayor, you take care.
Thank you, my brother. You take care. Be safe.
3:50 in the afternoon. Let's take care of the roadways? Let's do that.
All right. 3:49 in the afternoon once again. Actually, it's our first look at traffic.
Yeah.
Proudly being brought to you by AutoSpot. As we help you move forward, standing by Mr. Pauly Suba.
All right, I'm already seeing heavy congestion in the Upper Tumon area. Route 1 Marine Corps Drive heading northbound through the Route 16, Route 1 intersection. Things start to clear up after Route 3, either going into Route 3, that's the left turn right at Guam Regional Medical City, also known as General Ben Blas Boulevard. Things clear up when you get in there or continuing on your way on Marine Corps Drive. I really don't see too many issues elsewhere that is as congested. Obviously, there are so many intersections that are still not operating properly due to the power outages. please slow down before you get over to those intersections, whether or not there is a traffic guard or not, right? And so even if there is a traffic guard, you never know, for the safety of yourself, for the guard, and then also for the other motorists that are out there. Once again, helping you move forward on this Thursday afternoon. That's Guam Auto Spot. Call them up, 478-AUTO. View their inventory on their website at guamautospot.com.
Got friends who still haven't switched to GTA? Now's the time to give them a nudge, because you can get up to $150 just for sending them our way. Refer a friend who signs up for a single service like wireless or internet, and you'll score $100. And if they go for a choice bundle, that's a cool $150 in your pocket. It's simple, it's sweet, and it pays to share. Visit GTA.net to start referring today. GTA, we start with you. Terms and conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more information.
Pat's Tinting and Detailing offers premier services from complete interior cleaning and VIP detailing. To keep you cool, Pat's also offers factory, ceramic, blacked out, and based-approved auto tinting. For more information, call 647-SLAM.
Hungry and need gas? Mobile's got you covered. Now through July 31st, Mobile Smiles app members can enjoy a free 6-inch Subway sandwich with every minimum fill-up of $30 gas at any Guam mobile station. Available exclusively on the mobile app. It's an easy summer win. Fuel up, open the app, and enjoy the rewards. Not a member yet? Pick up a Mobile Smiles card at any mobile location and register today. Mobile and Subway, a great deal for the summer. See store for details.
The road to Adelup is here, and this time we spoke with Democrat candidates, Senator Toriz Terlahi and Senator Sabina Perez. Here is your opportunity to hear how they plan to govern Guam. Watch the conversation on Wave 105's YouTube channel, dated May 28th. This is a Glimpses of Guam radio station.
Welcome back to the show. About 7 minutes away from the 4 o'clock hour. This is Wave 105, and you're listening to The Bright Side with Mr. Pauly. Suba, buenas.
All right, welcome back. So GVB is setting up for more Tumon night markets.
Nice.
So the next one is this Sunday, July 12th, following weather cancellation, right? And so it says here they're returning July 12th following last weekend's cancellation due to Super Typhoon Bobby. The decision to cancel the July 5th event was made out of abundance of caution to ensure the safety of residents, visitors, vendors, and performers. They also recognize the need to allow participating vendors and partners adequate time to prepare for the storm and then recover after. And so the statement from the president, Regine Bisco-Lee: we appreciate the understanding and support of our community visitors, vendors, and performers as we prioritize everyone's safety. We're excited to welcome everyone back this Sunday for another evening of great food, local shopping, live entertainment, and the warm hospitality that makes Guam so special. The Tumon Night Market continues to provide a gathering place where residents and visitors can experience Guam's culture through local cuisine, artisan vendors, live music, and family-friendly entertainment in the heart of Tumon. And so they extend their appreciation to its vendors, entertainers, partners, and the community for their patience and cooperation during last week's weather-related cancellation. I really don't think they need to apologize at all. And so every Sunday from 5 to 9 p.m., right in front of the Tumon Sands Plaza, it's free and open to the public. And so they've got, I want to say, every single one for the remainder of July is focused on Guam's liberation, honoring our history, celebrating our freedom. July 12th, the 19th, and the 26th, Sunday, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So some entertainment, mixed plate. I am not familiar with Southern Roots.
Oh man, okay. I heard that one of the members. Remember that fireman song?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little kid.
No
Well, now
way.
he's
Okay.
grown.
Okay.
And I believe he's part of that group.
All
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, they're really good. I actually heard them. I'm like, hey, what's up? But yeah, they were really good.
All right.
They are good. Yeah.
Well, okay. So again, that the Tumon Night Market is back, and they've already calendared it. So, and again, they're all focused on the liberation. So this Sunday and the next 3 Sundays will again be focused on liberation. And so
Nice.
I remember where they were even considering, they weren't sure how long they were going to continue these. And they were saying, well, it all depends on how successful this is. There are a number of things.
I think that's been successful.
Yeah, but it did move. And so I remember in a meeting, they had said that, and it was Regine who said it, that they needed to move because Typhoon Senlaku damaged some of like the conduits or like some of the power sources over by
Pleasure Island.
Pleasure Island.
Yeah.
That is the reason why on the record. So I haven't heard any other reason that's on the record because that is exactly what Regine Biscoli said to media.
I think
and
it's a
I
good
was
move.
there. I don't know. I haven't been to the Tumon Sands Plaza. I need to go to experience it myself. But I did like that one pocket area that sat in the ODFS driveway. That's where the stage was. I thought that was the perfect place.
Yeah.
To set the stage and not be in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
That it had its little pocket there.
Yeah.
And they set up the chairs. I thought that was perfect. And I did like the fact that there were buildings on both sides because the sun wasn't on your face at 4, but you still saw and felt like the sunset.
You felt like your
from
room,
a distance.
You felt like your room from last night.
But so again, the rumor is that it was the businesses that demanded it to move.
I don't think it. I mean, because I've seen pictures from the old site to the new one, and it still looks like
That's
it's still
good.
going. Yeah,
That's
it's still
good.
going. Yeah, so kudos to GVB, and yeah, go check it out. Everybody want to get out of their house? If you want to be hot down there.
It's not hot at 5 though. I mean, things are cooling down. That is a
Yeah.
really nice time to enjoy 5 to 9 p.m. Yeah.
Yes. We should give her a call and, talk to her about it.
Sure.
Because a lot of people are still, they're still iffy about the new area and everything. I mean, because now I don't even know where to park and,
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's also people that there will always be a group of people that say too soon.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
And there will always be a group of people that will say, well, I got nothing else to do. I have no power at my house.
Yeah.
So I would love to go down to Tumon on a Sunday and enjoy those offerings. And they've got some really good vendors.
Yes.
And there are people that are starting to come home for liberation, understanding there isn't a parade. But this is usually the time where we do get family to come home.
Indeed.
Yeah. And so maybe it's too late, to cancel your flight and whatnot. And so at least now you have 3 Sundays to enjoy.
Yes. Hey,
Well-
speaking of canceling, okay, well, he postponed pretty much. For our Beyond the Ballot segment, today we were supposed to have Alex Duenas, but he does apologize. A family outing pretty much came about, and he wouldn't be able to make it tonight or today. But I am working with him to see if we can reschedule. However, we do have Miss Callan.
Yes.
Miss Callan Perez, and she'll be in with us at 4 o'clock. And for all of you candidates, please check your emails. I know the connectivity is bad, but emails are sent, and I haven't got a response. And I'm not going to hunt you down with the phone connectivity down
Right.
either.
Well,
So
not only that, but if you gave your number and your email to the Guam Election Commission,
Yeah.
then that's the official number to get a hold of you.
Exactly. I mean, I'm getting some emails kicked back and everything, and I'm like, I know this is the email that I got from, and then there are some numbers that are like the same for like two different candidates, and I'm like, come on, man. So I'm trying to call, and I'm like, okay, enough. I'm just going to send out the emails. Check your email. If you have it, call me. If you don't, I'm going to get it to you. But because time is of the essence.
Yeah, and
August
people's
1st is just
right.
around the corner.
And I understand. I understand why people will cancel, because we just came out of a storm. So as long as we're communicating,
Or they're afraid.
we'll figure it out. But at the same time, people's time is important. We don't want, and so that's the whole reason why we're not canceling Callan.
Yeah.
Callan is saying that she'll be here.
Yes.
And so we'd love to have her.
Yes.
And so we're not going to cancel this conversation, because I really don't want to ask her to come back at another date.
Exactly.
We've already scheduled it. She
Yeah.
says she's good to go. So
Mhm.
she's coming in, and we're going to do this. So
Yes.
we'll stop this. Well, I know she's running just a little bit late. So we'll keep this stream going until we know that she's in the studio.
Got it.
Right? And then we'll start another one, so that way people can find it very easily, navigate it easily to get to the meat of the conversation with Callan, and not have to fast forward it and try to find it. So
Exactly.
that's what we'll do. And so please hang out with us, and we'll be right back. KGUM FM in Dededo, Guam.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. In Maine, Democratic candidate Graham Plattner
We are suspending campaign operations.
withdrawing from the state's U.S. Senate race amid a sexual assault allegation.
I know that some will think it's an admission of guilt, and it most certainly is not. We're not doing it because of the allegations. We're doing it because of the structures that are being taken away from us by those in power.
Maine's Democratic Party had said it will hold a convention to replace him. In the Persian Gulf, Iran again targeting Bahrain, Kuwait, and Qatar with retaliatory fire after U.S. forces launched new airstrikes on Iran. The attacks came hours after President Trump said recent Iranian strikes on ships in the Strait of Hormuz signaled the end of their ceasefire.
Frankly, I don't want to waste my time with them. Now, I'll let our wonderful negotiators keep talking if they want, but I don't see it.
The president speaking in Turkey, where he attended a NATO summit. He also met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, telling him,
We're going to give a license to you to make Patriots. That's pretty cool, right? Larry? This way you can't complain that we're not giving them enough. I say, make them yourself. We haven't informed the company of that yet, but that'll work out all right.
the decision a significant shift as the U.S. had previously resisted the move. And in Provo, Utah, Hannah Schoenbaum reports.
Charlie Kirk's widow and parents were back in court on Wednesday as investigators testified in the week-long preliminary hearing for the man accused of killing him. I was in the courtroom as an agent with the Utah State Bureau of Investigation described the night that defendant Tyler Robinson showed up with his parents at the Washington County Sheriff's Office to turn himself in. He has not entered a plea. Next in the case, we expect to hear parts of an interview with Robinson's roommate and romantic partner, Lance Twiggs, who appears to be a key figure in prosecutors' case. Prosecutors say they also plan to introduce as evidence an alleged confession note that Robinson left for Twiggs. Outside the courthouse in Provo, Utah, I'm Hannah Schoenbaum.
This is AP News. Emmy nominations.
And so it begins.
The Day in the Life Emergency Room series, The Pit, led all Emmy nominees with 25.
The spotlight! God, I am glad to be born!
While Hacks got a record-setting 24 to lead all comedies in its final season. The totals gave HBO Max the top spot for both drama and comedy.
There is something about these seafaring towns.
Apple TV Plus horror comedy Widow's Bay got 19 nominations, while its drama Pluribus got 18.
How did I not realize this sooner?
Netflix's Beef was tops in the limited or anthology series categories with 16 nominations. Best drama series includes HBO Max's The Gilded Age, A Night of Seven Kingdoms, and The Pit, Apple got 3 for Slow Horses, Your Friends and Neighbors, and Pluribus. The Emmys are announced September 14th. I'm Julie Walker.
More stories at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
4:05 in the afternoon. We are KGUM FM Dedido Guam. This is Wave 105, the bright side. And right about now, it's time to check in the roads of Guam as we help you move forward along with Guam Auto Spot. Standing by, Mr. Pauly Suba.
All right, let me check it out here. Yeah, I am seeing heavy congestion on Route 1 by the village of Donkey and Route 10 intersection, Route 10A intersection.
Okay.
Also, right around that area heading northbound. So, in both directions, Route 10A trying to make that left turn onto 1 or continuing north onto 1, making that right turn onto Route 10A. I have a feeling they're going to a hardware store in that area.
Get supplies.
There's plenty congestion
Look for some
there.
fans.
Yeah. Yeah. If there are any.
Oh, geez.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. People were buying it like hotcakes, man. Jeez.
I had an opportunity to buy stocks in Ryobi, and I passed it by.
Damn.
I am regretting it now. East Sunset Boulevard, obviously, major congestion there. You are at a crawl there. Slow moving on East Sunset Boulevard, trying to get through and navigate all of that airport congestion and those lights there. Other than that, again, please just be extra cautious as you head towards any major intersection.
With no power.
Yeah, treat it like a four-way stop, and even if there is a guard there, you still want to slow down for the safety of yourself, the motorist, and the guard that is doing such a great job in the heat and in the rain. That's like the worst. It's muggy, it's hot, and occasionally it rains too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, we do want to thank our sponsor, Guam Auto Spot. Schedule that test drive today. Call them up, 478-AUTO. View their inventory on their website at guamautospot.com.
Got friends who still haven't switched to GTA? Now's the time to give them a nudge, because you can get up to $150 just for sending them our way. Refer a friend who signs up for a single service like wireless or internet, and you'll score $100. And if they go for a choice bundle, that's a cool $150 in your pocket. It's simple, it's sweet, and it pays to share. Visit GTA.net to start referring today. GTA, we start with you. Terms and conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more information.
As parents, we have a million things running through our minds. Playdates, checkups, groceries, laundry, diapers, work, carpool schedules, picture day, swim team, did we mention diapers, birthday parties, meal prep, lost permission slips, dentist appointments, and the dog that still needs to be walked. So it's easy to make a mistake. Oh, I forgot birthday candles. Sit tight, hon, I'll be right back. We say we'd never put our kids in danger by leaving them in the car alone. Oh, wait, since when are candles not on the baking aisle? But never happens. And temperatures as low as 60 degrees can be deadly for children left behind. So always bring them with you, and every time you park the car, stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
My name is Erica, and my son, Kason, is a patient at Shriners Children. My oldest called me and said Kason got burnt. The trauma doctor came in and said he needs to go to Shriners.
His injury was a big injury, and I think a testament to the care that we provide. He's fully functional. He's riding his dirt bike, doing all of the things that you would want him to do.
We're just so thankful that Kason is still here. Go online right now to loveshriners.org.
To kids, summer isn't just time off. It's time spent building confidence and curiosity. But when school meals pause, millions of kids lose access to the food they count on during the school year. As a neighbor-led network, Feeding America is deeply rooted in every community, ensuring summer meals continue nourishing growth and potential. Your support puts healthy food within reach, fueling the future for kids and their families. Give now at feedingamerica.org/summerhunger.
The road to Adelaide continues. This time, we sit down with Republican candidates. Vice Speaker Tony Atta and E.J. Calvo. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 5th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a glimpse of Guam radio station.